Okay, so the first thing is to peel the onion after halving it. Halving it will help you to peel the onion. So just take out the outer skin and put it into your compost bin if you have one. And make sure none of the little roots get onto the board. Okay, so remember to, when you're chopping the onion, to chop off the shoot and leave the root on. So this is the shoot, we're going to chop it off, so straight down and get rid of it. And remember when chopping an onion to keep your fingers curled in. So we're going to dice this onion, so remember to follow the lines on the onion and you're going to slice down first. Again, mind your fingers, watch where your knife is in relation to your fingers. And then just get the last one over here. So it's still attached, it's not going to fall apart. And then so again with your hand in that claw shape, put your hand on top and then make a horizontal slice into the onion. Make 2 of them. Again, be really careful with your fingers. And then what you're going to do is you're going to chop straight down into it and it'll form into dices as I'm going along. If you are cooking for more than about 2 people, you can use up the entire onion so that you're not wasting any onion. Or if you don't need to use it, just put it on a plate and wrap it up in cling film and put it in the fridge for the next day. So when you're preparing the mushroom, you can take the bottom out of it, and if the mushroom is dirty looking, you can peel the skin off of it like this. So you're grabbing the inside of it, the bit that folds over, and remove that. You don't need to do this if it's clean looking. And get rid of those into the bin. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to chop straight along the onion and chop it into slices. Again, curl in your fingers, and when you get to the end, just turn it on its side. Now if you want to, with the bottoms of the mushrooms, to avoid wasting them, you can chop those up as well. They are perfectly edible and it cuts down on the amount of food waste. Okay, so when you're preparing the pepper, I am using half a green and half a red pepper. So slice up in half as you would normally do. Then you're going to take out the white part, which is called the pith, and make sure there are no seeds in it. When you are cutting the pepper again, make sure you keep in your hand in that claw-like movement, because if your knife does hit off your fingers, it'll save your finger. So just chop straight down, and really you're chopping each part into half, so into thin strips first, and then you're going to chop them into smaller bite-sized pieces so that they will cook quicker. Okay, so now we are going to prepare the chicken. So I'm using 3 chicken breasts because the recipe says 400 grams, there was 500 grams in the packet, so I'm just using it up. When you are preparing the chicken, make sure your cat doesn't eat it, and chop it in half first, and again keep that claw movement going on, it'll protect your fingers. And then you're going to chop the first part in half, kind of lengthways, and this will just help to make the pieces smaller. So now I'm going to chop it each part into bite-sized pieces. and these parts here are connective tissue. They're fine. You can take them out if you want to, but you don't have to. And again, chop the bottom half into half lengthways, and then you are going to chop into smaller pieces. Make sure you are doing this on a clean chopping board, or if you don't have a second chopping board, wash your one for vegetables off and wash your knife off if you're using the same knife to avoid cross-contamination. Okay, so there are two types of stock cubes you can use. So you have this, your bog standard OXO cube, you can use those, or you can just use the stock pots, whichever one you want. So before we go to the hob to start cooking, make sure to prepare your stock cube. So I already have mine taken out, and I am going to pour some boiling water on this. Make sure the jug that you use is a Pyrex jug, so that means it's a heat treated glass that can hold up to high temperatures. So we need 450 ml of stock, so that's what I'm going to put on this, and then by the time you're ready to use it, it'll be ready to go. Okay, so now we are over at the hob, and so you turn on your hob to the highest heat. Depending on the size of pan you have, use the size of ring that suits it. So a smaller pan, use a smaller ring, and for a bigger pan, use a bigger ring. So you want to do the onion test. So onion is the first thing that's being cooked off. Put your 2 tablespoons of oil in and wait for it to start sizzling like this. I'm going to leave it another little while to get it a bit hotter, and then I'll add in the rest of the onion and fry it off until it's soft. Okay, so the onions have softened down now, so I'm going to add in the chicken. So add it all in, and we're going to let this gently cook off. So remember, the bigger your pieces of chicken, the longer it's going to take to cook. So make sure to give it a good stir and get them all in there. So when chicken is cooked, it will go from pink to white, and it has to be white throughout, and that's when you know it will cook. So because this has stock in it and it's a one pot dish, the chicken will continue to cook when we add the water in. So it doesn't need to be completely cooked off, but it should be fairly well cooked off by the stage that we add in the pasta and the stock. Okay, so we're going to add in the paprika as well now, and it's 2 teaspoons. So remember, a teaspoon is a small spoon. Do not put a big tablespoon of this into it, because you won't be thanking yourself for it. Okay, now at this stage the chicken is nearly cooked through. As I said, it doesn't have to be completely cooked through because it will continue to cook. So we're going to add in the peppers and the mushrooms now and fry that off for another about 2 minutes. We're going to add in the stock now. So the onions and mushrooms and peppers have been frying off now for a couple of minutes. So we're going to add in the stock, and make sure you get all the little bits out of the jug of stock cube because it won't all break down, and give it a quick little stir. And we're going to add in some salt and pepper. Don't go too hard on it, and then you can add in more salt and pepper when you taste it at the end. I'm using brown pasta because that is what we normally eat. Once you have added the pasta in, reduce the heat. I'm on number 6 and turn it down to 2. And we put the lid on and leave it there for 20 minutes. Okay, so this has been 20 minutes simmering, and the pasta is cooked. So make sure you get a fork, take a piece of pasta out and check it. So that is cooked now. So the next thing is to add in your soured cream. So give it a bit of a mix just to make sure it is smooth and ready to go. And then you're just going to pour it in on top. After this, check for seasoning and add in salt and pepper or more paprika, and then you are done.